6 years ago, wouldn't have had the thought to be able to work from anywhere. There's so many different things that to me was not possible.
Yeah.
It became possible because with you I had an opportunity, but also with myself I took risks.
Hi and welcome to today's show. I am the co-host Matthew Toman.
And I am Sharon Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, and in case anybody doesn't realise, it's a mindset and marketing podcast. I forgot to say that.
You're getting carried away now.
I know we are having second time doing this on our own, and we've actually got a new editor in place as well, which is kind of exciting because we're trying to make it where it's completely and utterly independent, where we can just do them on the fly. And then get out more content. You know, that's what we're sort of hoping to be able to do.
And whenever Matthew says the fly, it's 8:10 and he told me at 7:30.
Yeah, so
we were doing this.
Yeah,
so.
It was 8:10 and I told her at 7:30, but we're on our Christmas party tomorrow and Friday is going to be a late enough one, I would say, or an early enough day.
I'm interested to see how this goes. You know, I like to rehearse the life out of things. It might not seem like that when you listen, but I do. Whereas this time, Matthew's just making me wing it.
Look, I mean, I think we'll be completely grand. But what did you get up to this week? How's your week been?
It's been good, but it's been busy because we're obviously on the wind down to Christmas. So there's lots of projects in the agency, you know, that we need to kind of get completed before we stop for Christmas. And in amongst all that, just flat out with going out and seeing people and trying to organise Christmas shopping, presents. Thankfully, I don't have that many people to get, but it's still a stress. To add to my stress, I'm trying to get an Irish passport, and that's stressing me out too because I need it by February. And they sent me an email to say, you need to give us more stuff. Do you know what they said? They said, your witness hasn't answered the phone. We've tried multiple times. Now, they haven't tried once. Fact, right? And then below it says, please note we will not call mobile numbers. Who uses a landline?
I know my mum and dad actually got their landline out. They still have got it there to keep their number, but they've got it out. But Maria's going to do it for you. And did you put her details on? So Shauna told me about this last night, and then I was like, look, Maria, a person that I know will be able to do it because she does that. She works in the banks and she's able to do that.
By the way, Maria knows me because I see her every Christmas. In case you think Matthew's just throwing out Maria's name to everybody.
She's a really, really, really good friend, and we love Maria, and she's brilliant, you know. So basically, that's what's going on there. Second to that, your passport, and then what else did you say? Oh, Christmas presents. Mine is brilliant because the only people I buy now are teenagers, and they just send me Amazon links.
So good.
It's so easy, and then everybody else is a bottle of wine and a box of matches, you know. And then just my mom and dad, I like to sort of do something in the house, you know.
Yeah, I like that more, you know. Experiences like going out for a meal, that's what we're doing with my granda, taking him out for lunch, to spend time with him because he doesn't need anything. You know, and then you just get something for the sake of getting it.
That's it, you know what I mean? So I feel exactly the same as that. But so this week for me, what did I do? I had a great week. I was working flat out. I've been loving being back in Belfast. I think knowing that I'm leaving in another 3 weeks, I'm excited. I'm actually loving the fact that I'm back. But I've been flat out working with clients, which has been brilliant. Actually got welcomed onto the board of one of our clients, which has been exciting. I'm a new board member for a company, which was actually a track to get it over the line, but I'm really excited about getting stuck in there and getting working. I actually had a 2-hour meeting today about that, and it's something that the company is absolutely a really, really major, big company, and I can't wait just to get stuck in and start to work with them. And then what else? Got a haircut and a beard trim, which I'm obsessed with. Shout out to High Society Barbers, Johnny. He's amazing. Brilliant haircut.
Well done, Johnny.
We met them in Lisbon. Whenever we were there with Daniel, and now he's my barber, which is brilliant. And everybody's been reaching out to me about the video on speeding. No one can believe that. And that from the last podcast.
My mum said this today when I was in the car with her. She was chatting about it.
Yeah,
She loved
everybody's
it.
missed. So 100% that's what happened. Just to reedify, I wasn't speeding, and the cop went back and checked his, and he asked my mobile number on the at the time, and I didn't think they'd done that. I've never been asked. I've never given my mobile number to anybody. But anyway, let's jump off that again. But loads of people have been reaching
I
out
was
to me
about to
about
say, are
that.
we going back there?
Yeah, and what else did I do this weekend?
Here, you put up your tree. Look at it behind you. It's
Oh
Christmas.
yeah, I know. I put up this tree. So my mum came down on Sunday. She rang me. It's just as well nobody was here.
Why? Oh yeah.
Nobody was
I was
nobody was
like,
staying over on
no,
Saturday night. But
those kind
she
of
said
sleepovers.
she rang me and she said, oh, we're just passing like the West Link. We're coming to your house, and I'm like, why? You know, because I was a bit shocked. We've got you a Christmas tree. So I was I was looking at it thinking, your mom actually sent me a message and said, Matthew, I think there's some branches missing off that. And I said, I know, but it's sentimental. I absolutely love it. And then I shared with her the video that I had took of my mom putting it up, which was really funny.
Oh yeah, that was a hoot. God love your mum and dad coming all the way down to. How did they get the tree? Did I take it comes in pieces?
Oh no, it's been in our house. No, it's one piece. It's one piece.
Oh,
I
did
made
they
a really
drive?
Oh yeah. They drove down,
Oh,
so
okay.
they absolutely
Right.
killed one another because my mom's a paranoid passenger as it is, and my dad, you know, he's a good driver, but you know, my mom is really, 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 really stressful in the car. Like she'll say to me, watch that," and I'm like, "What?
I had
What am I
visions
looking
of
for?"
them get. I had visions of them getting the train. You know the way they always get the train everywhere,
Yeah,
and just like your mum, your dad, and then like the wee Christmas tree sitting opposite them. Well, the
I
huge
know.
tree sitting opposite them on the train.
Well, they
It's like
ended up
what?
driving down, and it was really good to see them. Then my mom, she wasn't even out of the car. Where were we going for breakfast? But I went out on Saturday night with Donna, and we ended up going. It was her birthday, and we went to an Indian to have some food. And then after that, there was loads of food left, and she said, "Take that home with you." And I was like, "Donna, I don't really reheat food. I don't really do it. You know, I haven't done usually because I eat everything at the table. I very rarely
I was
have
going to
food
say,
left."
when is it
There was
left?
so
Yeah.
much food. So she was like, take it, take it, take it. Make sure you take it. So I took it. And then I actually had it at by like 9:30 on Sunday morning. So
In
I had
morning?
like, yeah, by 10 o'clock, I had literally a chicken korma and a peshwari naan. I put it all in the air fryer to heat up, and it was bloody gorgeous.
for
So
for breakfast. And the
for breakfast,
ironic thing is, you know, obviously you don't drink, so it's not even like you're on a hangover,
I
you
didn't
know,
have
making
no
these
excuse.
choices.
Yeah, I have no excuse, you know. And I was like, do you want to know what? I haven't done that, and probably it is the hangover thing. Probably since I haven't drank. But so then my mom comes and says, "Oh, let's go for dinner. Let's go for dinner, or let's go for breakfast." And I didn't tell them what I'd had. I said, "I've just had some food." They didn't ask. It was funny, like.
I've just had
But
like a chicken or whatever korma for like my breakfast, but yeah, let's go.
yeah,
Well, you
Donna
know, we both
texted
love
me
our
on
food.
Sunday. And, yeah, she texted me on Sunday night saying, "Did you eat the food?" I was like, "It was gone by 9:30 a.m." You know. But no, I had a brilliant night for her birthday. We actually went out at 6 o'clock. We were both back at her house watching. We tried to get Netflix on, and for some reason in her snug room there was no the internet TV wouldn't connect to the internet, so it was stuck on this channel. It was called Couples That Kill. So it was like perfect. So we just literally watched.
Dream.
We just watched rolling episodes of that, and Johnny, your son, was just like walking around watching the match on his phone. And I said, "Why is the match on so late?" And he said, "Matthew, it's 9:15. I thought it was like 12:15 at night." I was like, "Okay." It was so nice though. It was
See,
so cozy, and it was actually a brilliant night. I'm really gonna miss Donna whenever I go.
Donnie, you're lucky there if you ever are listening, because that's the first person he said he's going to miss this whole time.
No, well,
Oh, she's
I'll miss
special.
loads of people. I miss you as well.
Oh,
But
thanks.
so we are trying to sort of keep this one on a timer. I've got a clock running in front of me, and we're like 9 minutes in right now, which
So we've got like 20 minutes left.
well, I was saying, could we do it in 20? No, I'm only joking. But we'll just see
Oh,
what the story is with it. But so you haven't prepared anything for this podcast, have you? Or have you done, is there anything you want to talk about?
what about getting older, right? Can we talk about that? Because this is a thing that I'm now realizing this year in particular, because Christmas season, I've got a few things, events planned
Hmm?
this week. But after that, right, I don't really have anything until like we're off for Christmas, because One of my friends is going in today for her sweep. So yay, can't wait to meet the babby. One of my friends just had to have an eye operation today, so has to like lie down for like a week, like without, she's not allowed to lift her head. One of my other friends is going through some really serious stuff and everything's going really well, but obviously isn't available, to kind of catch up. We always get together. And I was going to myself, right, what is going on? This did not happen to me last year. This would never have happened to me 5 years ago. So I've just realised today that I'm actually getting older and all my friends are getting older. And with that brings loads of different changes. Like I'm not used to this.
What has made you feel like you're getting older because they're not around?
Yeah, because now we're having more things to worry about, with our health. You've got more things to kind of sort out and try and navigate.
Socializing.
No. Well, that's like a small part, but that's just what that's what made me think about it.
So the small part of Sharon not socializing. Thursday, we're meeting at 4:00 to go for a drink, and then we're going for dinner, and then we're going out. Friday, you're going out with Aisling to God knows where. Saturday, we're going around. We had said that we were going to go around to one of our friends for a drink on Saturday night, and Sunday we're out from 2.
I know. This week, right?
You're getting younger.
This week, and that's
Look, I'm just going to talk to you about getting older. I am 41 now, and I've never felt better. Like, I don't think you get older. I think you get better. And I think it's all to do with your mindset. Now, obviously, some of my friends have been through some really tough things over the years. One of my friends got cancer when he was 33. He's doing brilliant now. He's absolutely amazing. He's flying. There's been so many people have been hit with tragedy whenever they've been young. They've recovered from it and they're really doing well now. And I know you've got some friends going through some stuff, and I know like everybody's, I do feel a bit like that whenever I'm in Northern Ireland, to be honest with you. I know I joked there a minute ago about it, but realistically, if I'm being honest, there's some nights I'm in the house and I'm like, there's nothing to do. Like, my friends are married or have babies, I'm hanging out with my family, but it's a cold night, it's a bit miserable, and I'm thinking, oh my God, because I'm single, I don't have any children, like I've got a lot of time. But that is why I live in LA, because everybody's kind of single and everybody's kind of dating, and it's a real, like, Arlette, my friend, I don't know what age Arlette is, but she's a good bit older than me, Gary, I would say Gary's in his late 60s into 70s maybe. I've got friends in LA that are younger than me as well. Nathan's like 21. There's all different variations of ages there, and there's no age. Everybody's the same, and it's
Hold on a minute. Is this because you're away from, everything? So, right, you get older. Unfortunately, and I'm just talking generally here, right?
Mm-hmm.
More people in your family or close to you, you have to say goodbye to, something tragic happens. You're older, people get sick, doesn't matter if you're in LA. This is all these things are still going to happen.
Well, the thing is,
or are you just over there,
No, not at all. Like, it's probably because I'm not around it as much. Like, whenever I do come back, I see my aunties, my uncles, my mom and my dad, and everybody getting a bit older, and myself getting older as well. And it is kind of hard to watch. Like, I'm not going to lie. You're sort of looking at it and you're thinking, yeah, people are getting on a little bit, and obviously you would love them, to be around forever, and they're at like the last phase of their lives, which we would chat about and joke about as well. I took a photograph of my mom and all her sisters, and I said, as it was said, geez, this is probably like the last photograph you will ever all have together as a family. And, that is morbid. I was saying it with a sense of humor, but at the same time, they all are getting older. They live all over the world separately, and hopefully they will all see each other again. And I do actually believe that they will. But apart, I just try to live in the moment and not really think about that, and spend as much time as possible. You know what I'm like. Since I've been here, I'm always hanging out with family, always hanging out with friends. And
you're good like that. You do go around, the houses. You always stay connected to people.
I'll tell you this, right?
If you like them.
I have set goals from 2010 whenever I get into goal setting, and I've achieved so much of them. You know, when I'd hit a certain amount of money that I made, when I'd hit a certain amount of movies that I had made, when I got to live in LA, got to, you know, enjoy these absolutely amazing things, right? And I had achieved a lot, right? Achieved like a lot of things and got myself into a place that I was really comfortable. And then I started to think, well, I've achieved all this, but I've still got this like void. What is it that I want? I was still running and running. And it wasn't until I realised that my first movie, South, that I had got into cinemas, premiered at Galway, on to RTE, done loads of things with South, won loads of awards. I never bought a ticket and went to the cinema to watch it, you know? And that's so sad to even, I'm glad it happened because it made me realise that now I need to appreciate things a bit more and actually slow down and go for dinner with my mum and dad on Friday night. Do you know what I mean?
Well, do you know, whenever you see exactly what you said, that's exactly what I was thinking there. You know, obviously, just this moment, that's kind of what was in my head because of what made me realise it was those social events that weren't happening this year because, you know, there's more commitments, there's more worries, there's more everything's when you're older. But what I took from it was that, you know, it's actually, this is just a time of year where we all tend to get together, but actually we can get together, you know, all year. You know, so like really...
There's times I walk into my mum's house and yous are all there and I'm like, is this like flipping New Year's Eve? Do you know what I mean? You'd think it's a full-blown New Year's Eve party in full swing.
So I think what I've learned from this is that I'm actually going to try and like make more plans, you know, with people that you really enjoy spending time with. But outside of just these big occasions, like obviously I see my friends and I see my family, right? But you don't see them as much or enjoy it as much as these kind of festive times, you know, when you're all getting ready and excited for Christmas. And really, like you say, put them in the diary, be present and enjoy them, because a lot of the time, like I have the crack, but I don't think about it. I take it for granted.
Yeah, take what for granted?
Just spending time with people and the fact that you have all these freedoms and the fact that, okay, there are certain things going on, but when you get older, there are great things that are happening too. You definitely get, you know, more confidence in yourself to be able to, well, a lot of people do.
Well, I've started this is what I have done, and I don't know if anybody can take something from this or not, but what I've started to do is like listen to my friends going through their problems, help out when I can, whether it is with support, whether it is giving them work, many different ways you can help people and support people, you know. But what I've started to do is, you know, I haven't really embodied it the way that I used to. Like I haven't embodied the negative or bad things that sort of come up against in business. It's just been like, you know, shit happens. That's okay. There's nothing I can do about that. Let's just deal with it. And whenever someone comes to me and they say, look, I'm going through this or I'm going through that, I'd say, okay, you know, and just whatever will be, will be. If it comes, that it come. If it goes, that it go. And just try your best to like not really get too emotionally invested. Because I find that whenever you get, or even like advising people, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. I've done that for years and I can't believe I actually used to do it so much because the person's on their own path. They're not asking for my advice. I'm giving it sometimes whenever I shouldn't be, but it's because I'm only trying to help. But what I've started to do is just pull back. And as I pull back from giving other people advice, I've realized I've got more time for myself. And then I'm putting more time in to the point where I'm like, God, what do I do? You know, go to the gym 6 days a week. You know, go out for dinner, like, but I'm starting to fill it now with things that I want to do.
One of the other benefits, I guess, now that we're flipping it, you know, of getting older that I'm kind of experiencing with all of these things that are going on, is that the strength, you know, that you get, well, if you surround yourself with the right people and good people, like, I'm just blown away by how much strength, like, all of the people in my life have with all of the things that are going on around them. And you know, when you're a bit younger, you're a bit naive, you're a bit like, you don't really think about all those things, you know. And I just want to take a wee second to like give a shout out to kind of everybody in my life who, because they're all going through stuff as we all are, and just for a second to go, you know, it's hard, but they're literally, like you say, taking everything as it comes, doing what they can, and actually staying super positive, getting on with it, and like excited about, they're all setting goals as well, you know, okay, this is happening here, but I'm looking forward to this. like everybody at the minute in my life is so positive.
I know. Well, I just look forward to, but you've attracted that in. I think it's probably since you started this podcast. I think since you
It's all
started
thanks
doing
to
this
you.
as co-host, yeah, I'm like, yeah, come on in, everybody's positive over here. No, do you want to know what? I had a really funny conversation with my Auntie Louise the other night. She was making dinner and I was down having food, and she was saying, "Oh my God, Matthew, what about the time that happened to you and that happened to you?" And she doesn't even know half of it, to be honest. But like, it was in a car accident whenever I was only 14. I shouldn't have been driving, but I was. There's all these different things that I got up to whenever I was absolutely wild beyond reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, not even fucking in the same planet as some people. Really, really just nuts, and had no limit, had no fear, and had no limit for danger. Right? So I said to her, I could have died 20 times. So I'm just so grateful to be alive, that everything
And
else has been a bonus.
he actually could have, like, it's not even an exaggeration when he says
That's probably
that.
an
If you heard half the stories.
It's probably an understatement. What's that one? An understatement?
Yeah.
Under exaggerate? I don't know, but
You're under exaggerating. You're not over.
I don't know if I'm like, yeah, I think
Can
so.
you
But
can you actually under exaggerate though? Is that a thing?
I don't know. But like, I just keep I can't even talk about half it, because then I'm thinking, I get the fear.
I know. Well, so basically, you have talked me down. Well, you have talked me down. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
okay that we're
you don't
actually
get older, you get
embrace
better.
the age. You get better.
I've never felt fitter and never felt better. Genuinely, like, and I'm not just saying that. And it's like, you don't get older, you get better. Like, 41 isn't even that old now. My friend actually keeps saying to me, "Why do you keep mentioning your age? It's not a big deal."
I definitely think I just love for me, the big thing is getting the confidence to, like, whenever you're a bit older and, you've learned a lot, you've went through some things, things you shouldn't have maybe done or things you would have done differently in hindsight. So it's kind of like you've got all of those things and you've learnt them, and then you're taking them on each year, and then you just build and build and build. Like, I think back to even, how long am I with Bankhouse now? What is that?
4 years?
3-4 years?
It's coming up
Even
to 4
like,
years.
6 years ago, like, wouldn't have had the thought, the notion, the whatever, to be here doing this, to be able to work from anywhere, to be able to, like, there's so many different things that to me was not possible. And it became possible because obviously, with you, I had an opportunity, but also with myself, I took risks. I was what am I doing in this job? Right? I'm getting loads of money for it, but at the same time, is that really what you value? Just money? It's not.
I know.
Because if you just value money, then what are you really getting out of life? And the chances are it's not going to ultimately, I know you talked about money does make you happy in the last one, but it's not the only thing,
No, it's so not. I could be making like way more money. I could be so much more pushy. I could like pay people, like, I could be more aggressive with my, payment plans. There's so many other things that I could be doing money-wise, do you know what I mean? And always will. And I actually had this really big, deep conversation the other day with Daniel. I was like, do you remember whenever we done Dive? And do you remember whenever we done this project? And do you remember the Bankhouse office in Dublin? I was way more ruthless. Like, I was, like, I had to really, really work on myself and be like, okay, you got to wind your neck in, sit back, be more grateful, appreciate people, be nicer, But we got so much done at that time. We did get so much done. Now, I burnt myself out. So I was saying, I think I've went too far the other way, where I'm being far too soft. Right? And like,
you'll be picking out your retirement bed.
Yeah, so I was like, I need to, because the thing is, I have been sitting on my hands for 2 other businesses that I'd love to open, and I haven't done it yet, and realistically, I've got more time in my hands than ever right now, and this should be up and running, but why have I not got the same hunger? What am I doing? And I listened to this podcast with Mel Robbins today on the Stephen Bartlett show, and she said, pick somebody that don't pick someone that you aspire to be like, pick someone that you're jealous of. Right? You look at someone and you're envious of them, and you start to look and say, okay, what in their life would you like? What is it you want? And he said, because that will give you more of a clue of what it is you want to get. There's maybe something underlying that you actually want that yourself, and then you should maybe aim to go get it, and somehow. And I swear to God, I ended up like today, I could not think of one other person that and I thought about like movie stars, like a singer maybe. I'd love to be like Adele, and sing every night in Vegas, but like that's not something. I'm not looking for a career change, and I can't sing. Yeah, but I couldn't think of anything that I was envious of somebody else in. Could not think about it.
So you're winning. But here, I was just thinking about that as you were talking, and thinking about, right, so I brought up the topic of getting older. Right, so then technically if you think about it, you're jealous of people who are younger. So then I was thinking about, right, let me think about, this was all going through my head as you were saying that. I was like, right, let me think about the younger people now, and I'm like, right, so what have they got? So probably less worries about everybody around them, probably less worries about bills, right? But then I'm like, well, that's okay, but they're gonna be in this position anyway, in like
I
15 years.
I would never turn the clock back. I had more worries back then than I do now, and I see it now with people.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But
I suppose
it's like you say, it's reframing it,
Yeah.
like we say all the time. Because when you think about all of that, really, that's not possible unless you want to be frozen in time.
I know. I'm totally happy with where I'm at. I think the 40s are the best. And 30s were nuts. I worked my ass off way too intensely. I think now it's really just enjoying and sitting back and being like, okay, let's just enjoy it and see. But I tell you what, I whenever I go back to the States, and I am doing a bit of work like on my goals and setting all that stuff, it's not even goals, it's things I want to achieve, things that I want to do. But I do want to have a bit more hunger. Again, I want a bit of the fire back that I did back in, 2012, 2014, 2018, whenever it was under a bit of pressure. I feel that like with I realistically, how many hours do I work a day? Would you think?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm not guessing that.
I won't be offended. You can say whatever you want.
No, because I know that obviously with you, you're always available. You might not be working, so all of the time, but so for example, normally I'm available like 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. in between those times. Whereas you are 24/7. So, and I'm working those full hours whenever I start, and then I'm away. Whereas you don't, you're just always available. And I mean 24/7.
Yeah.
So I think you're picking up calls throughout the entire day.
But I don't take up anywhere near many calls as what you would. And also,
how many hours do you think you would spend working?
I was saying to Daniel, do you think I would do like 20 hours a week work? And he like made a really exaggerated laugh that he couldn't have annexed the reaction in. And I'm like, what do you think, like 20 hours a month? And he's like, honestly, do you think you do 20 hours a month? And I was like, what? Do you think I'll do less than 20 hours a month? And then I started to think about it and I was like, actually, maybe I do. But I go to the gym, I see friends. But what I'm saying is, whenever I'm doing, we have a product that actually it's a really big product. It's turn your book into a movie. And I've got a couple of those that are potentially going to close, 2 of them for 2024. And turn your book and your training into a movie. And that'll be me flat out working, non-stop for 3 weeks intensely, then going through the edit and doing all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm actually looking forward to it,
But as well, can I just say, as a business owner, you take on different stresses too, because you're obviously responsible for paying salaries, paying bills, paying all of that. So you're doing a different kind of work. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that does take a different mindset, to be honest. To sort of deal with like a payroll at the end of the month.
I'd rather work a working week than have the responsibility of all of that.
Yeah. No,
obviously everyone's different,
Yeah, where I could not do a working week for somebody. I couldn't. No. I know that I give you flexibility and as much time as you want, but I couldn't even, I don't even think I could do that.
No.
I don't know if I could
You're
work
out
for
of
me.
the way of it now. You don't need to. You find your new groove, and that's a benefit of getting older.
Yeah, it probably is. Well, it's sort of like I always saw those ads. Why work all your life and then retire at 65 and only have the a tiny bit of it left to enjoy things, where I kind of just want to sort of focus on enjoying it now. And that's why I sort of said to everybody else who works for us, like, take flexible time, work part-time if you want, like, put your time into your life,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to take away then, what I was saying, I'm actually now delighted at my age. So thanks for that.
You don't get older, you get better. And
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, just as long as you sort of don't, as long as you get out of the rat race of being just, I don't know, just conforming into, I don't know, I think you got to just listen to your gut. I listen to my gut a lot. And I know whenever
Yeah.
something's right, and I know whenever something's not right. And I never used to listen to it back in the day. I knew that there was something, but I think it manifests in sickness and in unhealthiness,
Yeah.
because you're holding something
think-
inside your body that's, I don't know.
Yeah. And a big thing is, I guess, just kind of like you said there, reflect on what it is that you're missing and break that down, because really you'll probably find in the end,
Yeah.
you're happy with where you want to be. Or if you're not, you'll know the steps that you need to take in order to get shifting gear.
And what you sort of are setting these goals for and think that's going to make you happy and want, maybe they're, once you get them, it mightn't be what you're after as well. Stephen Bartlett actually said this thing on the podcast today. Are you moving forward, or are you being dragged? Are you, like, is your goal, your adrenaline? And, there's times in my life that I would say that I've been dragged, I've been dragged across because I wanted to prove something to myself. I wanted to prove something to other people, but I wouldn't change it. I think that's a part of it. I think we're all being dragged at some point.
I mean, if someone can, like, stand in front of somebody and say, like, I've nailed life, every single part of it, then let's get them on.
Oh no, that's it. That's my biggest struggle right now, to see what's the next chapter look like. This decade that we're in. So, but no, it's
I know
good.
what's
It's
going to
enjoyable.
happen. You're going to go
What's
to
gonna
LA, and then shit's going to hit the fan, because you'll be so, like, relaxed because you're back in the sun. You'll be hanging out with all these new people, and then you'll just have the drive that you're looking for. You're just having to chill at the moment because it's, the end of the year, and we've got a lot to cover. So then, yeah, when you get to LA, it's going to be like all hands on deck for whatever this new project is.
I know. Well, there'll be loads. It'll be exciting. Yeah, that's it. Might get back into acting.
Imagine.
Oh my God, no, I wouldn't.
Well, if you do, can you make it like, some freaking Hollywood movie, so at least we get to mingle with the celebs.
I'm definitely going to make. I'm making another documentary next year. Like, I can't wait. Do you know what I mean? I've got that really exciting one on at the minute that we filmed down in.
I know about it. Oh yes,
the singer one, the one that involves the singer.
Yeah.
So that's
that
on
is
the go.
Exciting.
Yeah, I actually had a meeting about that last night, and we're back in doing another edit on Tuesday. So there is loads of stuff going on all the time, but it is actually just doing it at your pace. I would rather be like on working all the time than not at all.
You're obsessed.
Yeah.
I think you have a good work-life balance in terms of the physical work, like the actual work.
Yeah.
But not a good work-life balance in terms of the mental.
Probably, yeah. You're probably right. And the thing about the physical thing is that one thing that I'm really blessed about, and I'm really, really fortunate, I can't do it. I can't build websites. I can't edit videos. I can't write emails. I can't do copy. I can voice memo copy to a copywriter, which I do a lot, but I can't build an ad campaign. I can sell it all. I can sell all that stuff, but I can't do it. And I think that's one of the really benefits that I found in life. I can't do anything.
You can't do anything. Well, I wouldn't say that now. Look at what you've got. So then on to the dilemma then of the week. Which
we've got like 4 minutes.
Have to 4 minutes to do it. Okay, well this one then then if you want, it can just be about something that one of the clients in the agency.
I was only joking there, by the way. Yeah.
All right. Well, they're not even a client yet. Hopefully they will be soon. But we had a great conversation just about they're trying to basically recruit people for their business to be panel members. And I was just talking through all the different marketing ways in which they can do that, and going through the channels that they've tried before, and talked about the types of panel members that they want and what that would look like. So anyway, long story short, because with us, we're always looking at ads as a way to, get in front of people quickly. And so it came up when we were talking about ad campaigns, and they were saying, oh, we've run ad campaigns before and they didn't work. And I said, so he said, I'm not really sure about them. I said, right, okay, talk me through a bit about, what kind of content you run on the ads. And he talked me through it briefly. And I said to him, so in terms of these people that you're trying to target, have you got any kind of video or testimonial case studies or anything like that from existing panel members to show the value of being a panel member? Like a real simple, kind of straightforward, you would think, because we do it every day.
Simple to you. Like that's the thing. But go on ahead anyway.
But the minute I said it, he went, no.
I know.
And he was like, actually, how am I supposed to convert new panel members who've never heard of me before into panel members on our team when I'm not giving them any evidence that this is an enjoyable, a beneficial process or title or role? And he literally stopped and he went, no, why not?
That sounds like, what I wasn't on this call. I only heard briefly about this today.
The dilemma there is, are my ads aren't working? Should I turn them off? And it's like, well, pause a minute, just because I would always just say to people, because ads are a great way to get in front of people and get exposure, and all of the data is 100% traceable, trackable. Mm-hmm. So you know exactly what's going on. So I would say to anybody out there who's run ads before and maybe not had the success, to take a minute to really understand what were you putting in front of the people that you were targeting, because there's a few key things that you need to be doing and you need to be speaking directly to them. And a lot of the times people don't.
Well, you've got that thing that Daniel's done now, the 3 layers. That's really good. He's gone through that with us all the time. But what Sean was just saying there, just to clarify, because you actually kind of left, I don't think it was that clear. You were saying about doing, it was pretty much testimonials. So you were saying like having people who'd already had success with this brand and had actually, had a positive experience. That's what he was that's what you were advising him to look into on the evidence that it works. So it's like a testimonial. There's nothing like a good testimonial, like a video testimonial, even a written testimonial.
Video.
Yeah.
If you can do video, like it's it's game changer.
Yeah. Video testimonials are the way forward. But so what and it's all to do with, like, there's so many different parts whenever it comes to ads, your landing page, your assets, your videos, all those things. And it is right. Like if someone says to me, ads don't work for us, like that, I'm just telling you right now that that's not true. There is another person within your niche running paid traffic at a major success. So the fact that you're saying that it doesn't work, there's something wrong with your funnel. There's something wrong with your copywriting, because there's other people doing it. So that's enough proof to know that it does work. There's people just run off ads. We have great success with ads. We have great success with our clients in ads and Bankhouse Media. Actually, do you want to know what? There's one positive for the week. Can I just say it? Jump in, sorry.
Do we just have one positive for the whole week?
No, my major positive.
We have sad weeks.
My Christmas present that I got us. I just bought the Bankhouse Media domain, bankhousemedia.com. Yeah. So that's like, I'm sorry to cut across there. It was just something I'm really excited about that I forgot. I actually could have bought it for £20 whenever back in 2019, but someone bought it in front of us and I've been bargaining with them since then. They wanted tens of thousands and then we've agreed, and it is multiple thousands, unfortunately, but now that we've got it, it's 4 figures and it's not 5. That's what I'm actually like grateful for.
Yeah.
That's the grateful part.
Everyone loves the .com.
Well, for America and my plans for Bankhouse Media in America, like going forward, we need the .com. I showed Bankhouse Media to my mentor in America, and he said, "What does IE mean? Is that India?" I said, "No, it's Ireland." And I said, "But he said you need to get the .com." And I said, "The guy's looking like 20 grand." And he's like, well, can you not get it? And I was like, no, I'm not paying that for it. I'm just not doing it. So it's been like a 3 to 4 year bargaining. And I finally bit the bullet. I got a really good
Do you
guy
know
who
what's going to be
negotiated.
weird though? Whenever we get this all set up, and it's going to be, you know, the way we're so used now to just going at bankhousemedia.ie,
Yeah,
Sharon at
no.
bankhousemedia.ie, Sharon at bankhousemedia.com.
I know. Well, what
That's
I'm
going
going
to
to do
take
is
a
I'll
while.
create aliases for all those and then just redirect them to you. So you'll still be under
Yeah.
.ie, like, and then you can use .com as well, but it'll go out from .ie. Actually, we're rambling on here, but what Sharon was saying there today is, so the importance, even having like a good domain for your ads, you know,
Yeah.
because people look at domains. People look, even that client that we had today, there was a problem with their subdomain and we were like, this isn't going to work. You know, it has to be the same domain that you're running the ad from, because Facebook have to verify it. It has to be on the website, you know, and people do look
We
at
want to
that.
add the pixels to track it,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
And actually, another thing, just because now we're giving a wee bit of advice, is, you know, it's really important to like keep the socials up to date if you're running ads, because if you're a brand that, you know, people haven't heard of before, they're going to do their research. You know,
Yeah.
they're going to check you out online, and that includes your social channels. So if there's, not saying you have to post every day, but you need to have some activity there, and it needs to be engaging or it needs to be of value to your potential customer. Because they're going to go on and they're going to check it out to see what's going on. So if you're putting all this money into ads and you haven't checked your domain, you haven't spoke to the customer on the sales page, so you're just directing them straight to your website, that's a big no. If you haven't updated your socials, you might as well just throw your ad money down the drain, because
Yeah.
you're not putting yourself in the best position to convert that person online. You
Yeah.
know, so I
Yeah.
think what you said is right. You know, ads do work, but there's a lot of different, some people think that, you know, when you run an ad, you just like throw an ad up that says buy now, show a picture of a product or a service, and put your money behind it. It's
Most
not,
people are
unfortunately.
afraid to put money into it. And you know,
Well, that's why you got to start small, isn't it?
yeah, you got to start small and got to test and just got to do it. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, you gotta face the fear and do it anyway.
And not to try and be salesy, but you know, obviously we have the Mindset and Marketing Academy, where you can actually just buy a course that takes you through the ad formula, you know, so that you can ensure that whenever you start to run your ads, that you've ticked all the boxes and put your best foot forward for whenever you put that money into it.
Even if somebody else is doing your ads, like we've just hired a guy for Google Ads, you know, and we're now running, we had a Google ad partner. Now we're taking it in house. But I've been doing a Google ad course myself. I'm never going to set up a campaign, but I never want somebody that's working for us to know. I want to know as much as them, you know? So if you're running ads, do courses, as Sharon said, the Mindset and Marketing Academy. But there's loads out there. There's loads free on YouTube. Just get stuck in and just do them. Don't start doing things and without educating yourself. It's all about education, and that's it. You know?
Yeah, because the thing is, really, when you're running an ad, what you're doing is you're bidding for click. You're bidding for your ad to be in front of people. So for people who do know what they're doing and have educated themselves, you know, on setting it all up correctly, well, they're gonna win more of and convert more of that kind of bidding space, because they're gonna have it all done right. Whereas when you don't, you're already kind of losing out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get lucky by boosting a post, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, one of the guys that works for me boosted a post, and that's how he's ended up working with us, because I saw his Jack, I saw his ad, because he just boosted it and he put a load of money behind it, and he started working with us literally like the week after I seen it, and will continue to. But I said to him, Jack, that ad's down my head, and I had to switch it off. You know, I had to mute it. And he said, "Are you still seeing it?"
No, but you know, when you're saying that, well, back in the day, Rachel boosted a post, you know, to get kind of more leads, and her first boost done unbelievable. And then after that, it doesn't, it kind of fades out, you know.
He actually had a company in Dublin reach out to him and say, mate, stop serving me this ad. I've seen it 50 times. And I said, look, you need to build an omni-presence campaign. Like, that guy can see you 50 times, but if he sees 16 different pieces of content, a video, a testimonial, an authority piece, all these different things. Do you know? So that's what he has to do.
That's I think the clue's in the name, you know, boost. There's a bit of a boost
Yeah.
there, and then like that's it done.
And then
You know,
consider get this into you, like an omni-presence ad campaign. Omni-presence ad campaign is how you need to be running your business. That's what you need to be
which
doing.
means that you're across loads of different platforms, and you're also providing loads of different content. So you're not just showing them one graphic, or you're not just showing them one video. You're showing them several different things. So you set it all up like that, and then it does it all for you.
Yeah, no, perfect. So we're rolling on with this podcast now. We're meant to do this. We're meant to do it much shorter. Like, what do you think? Are we?
We're done. I thought we were done now, but then now you're like,
No, I'm done. I'm done. I need to go to bed. Daniel
So-
arrives tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. His flight lands.
well, the takeaway, because I like to do a takeaway,
Oh, yeah.
is that if the ads aren't working for you, don't stop there. Take the time, educate yourself, figure out why they're not, and how you can improve those efforts, because that's all part of marketing. You have to bring people to you. They don't just come to you.
If
And
the
that's
ads,
one of the big tools.
yeah, if the ads aren't working for you, you're the problem.
I wanted to sing Taylor Swift there, but instead I'll have a wee sip of the beer that I've been waiting on.
Oh, why weren't you having a beer on the pod? Why are you sort of missing out on the beer? Is that Cobra?
I'm being professional. So now it's over.
Is that Cobra?
Cheers, everybody. Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't drank Cobra in so long. They were serving Cobra in that Indian the other night. I actually loved
Goes
Cobra.
well with Indian.
Oh, it does. It's an Indian beer, I think.
It's kind of a bit warm now, because, you know, but...
Yeah, it'll do. Right, well, I will see you tomorrow. And thank you so much for watching.
For a Christmas party.
Yeah, we're off at a Christmas party tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.